Afternoon, colleagues. It's Tosana PM Sebata. I'm going to be doing a short video on this stock, Tractor Supply Company. It's a stock which usually performs well. It moved a lot up and down it went. So it keeps its trend, that's what I'm saying. And looking at some details about it, it's a big company, not huge but big, 7.6 billion in the S&P 500. And its dividend is good, 1.7, payout is about 31. They generate money, and their returns are acceptable. In the 30 region, if it's above 20, I'm comfortable with that. Yes, last year they did not perform well. They were down 7%, but if you're a trader looking at this graph, you would have known you would have made money there and money there, so it's not a challenge for me. Currently, they performed badly so far. If you are a long guy, but if you're a short guy, this has been a great move. And also, what are the analysts saying? Up to Feb, they've been downgrading it. They started downgrading it beginning of Feb. So Feb started somewhere here in this region when we had these major collapses. The analysts were downgrading it. Now they are upgrading it. Since mid-March, up to now, they are all giving it upgrades, so we expect it to move. So it means that the big money is busy accumulating here. And going to my template, you will see that I put a rectangle here. It's where the accumulation has been going. I would say it started somewhere there. They accumulated up to somewhere there, and it dropped. They continue accumulating, showing that there is expectation of this one to pick up. And seeing what I'm seeing, usually I haven't done videos about rectangles, but in most cases when you want to decipher a rectangle, you go to one time frame higher than what you are looking at, and it will give you a simple signal as to where it's going. If we were to do that on this one, we won't get much great results, but that's how I usually decipher rectangles. Look at this. It's bouncing inside the cloud now. The stochastic is way down here at 4. It can only go up to 0. RSI is already starting to turn here. It's been consolidating also. So this is not a very neat one, but the tickets and the blue line is flat, telling you that there is no major long-term momentum on the downside, which is shown by this yellow Kijkensen. So it's not a very clear one, but RSI stochastic is telling you clearly that this thing is oversold. Going back to my daily chart, which I want to focus a little bit more on. Why I got interested in this one, I was just running my scans of the parabolic flip. These white dots, when they flip, I want to see those charts and see whether there's a good setup, a high probability trade. This usually would not qualify as a high probability trade for me, because I like to see these flips happening in situations like this, when we just had groupings at the top there, like there, and when we had groupings at the bottom, it's not clear there. That's where I call those high probability trades. But this one, I will make an exception. Whenever I see a sustained consolidation, then a 10 like that, I look up. But what really caught my eye on this one, for the record, I expect this to move out upwards, as shown in the weekly charts. I expect it to explode upwards. But what really caught my attention, besides the flip and a sign of no momentum when these are flat, the Kijkensen and Tikkensen, the blue and the yellow one, is that we have serious Bollinger Band signals. What I mean by that is we have a serious squeeze of these Bollinger Bands, the red and the green line. The red and the green line are coming so close together, this is tight. This is called a Bollinger Band squeeze. We had it also there. If you note this zone here, when it was squeezing, this was the top and immediately it collapsed. So we're having a similar scenario here when they are squeezing here on the stochastic. Same thing is happening on MACD, squeezing. Same thing on RSI, squeeze. So I expect a serious explosion to the upside. So definitely this is one I would get into. But because of its potential to be a binary setup, where it can also explode downwards, I would be more inclined to set up an option structure where I profit if it goes up and I'm protected if it goes below this rectangle, and I make a small profit, say about 1% or so. So what I would execute here is a call back ratio spread. Call back ratio spread. That's the one which I will put here, so that if it goes up, I'm making some money. If it goes down, I make some little money, maybe in the region of 1%. So it will be a credit call ratio back spread, which I would execute here. But my expectation is that we're going to see some serious movement to the top. That's my take. Whenever you see a rectangle, try to combine it with some effects, but what I'll leave you with is, wherever I see a rectangle, I go to a time frame higher to see whether we have a clear buy signal or a sell signal. And also whenever I see Bollinger Band squeezes, I look at the chart setup, because in this setup I'm looking at it as the beginning of a third wave going up. This would have been the consolidation, and I would have called this move here a 1, and this will be a 2. Then I'm expecting a 3, and with this consolidation and the Bollinger Band squeezes, I expect it to really rocket going up and clear this top. That's my take, and that's my input on Tractor Supply Company. It's a company which I really like to trade. It's quietish, not known that much, but once you get onto it, when it's moving in one direction, it keeps true to the trend. I thank you. It's been 2:09 p.m. Sebata. Bye-bye.